Welcome back to the Function Ready series, where we learn songs that are commonly played on the function scene. Have you got a gig coming up soon that requires you to play a commonly played song? You've come to the right place. Today we're looking at Sweet Caroline by Neil Diamond. So let's get started. So let me just interrupt myself quickly just to say that TRUEFIRE are currently having a promotion on their new online Guitar Academy course. They've also got a sale on their All Access course as well. I'll talk about that more at the end, so stay tuned and I'll see you at the end of the video. Alright, so let's have a look at this introduction. What you just heard is not actually what the guitar does, but it's actually just a more interesting intro. So the guitar part is just 3 notes. I'm playing on the A string, I'm playing the 4th fret to the 6th fret to the 7th. So it's those 3 notes, and this is how it sounds like. Done. That's the intro. So what's happening there? So we got those 3 notes, and we start off with, okay, then it goes up again, then comes back down again. So I'll play from the beginning. Okay. Do it one more time, a bit slower. And then we repeat the descending part. Okay, so we got up, down, down. It's actually up, up, down, down. Then we play it again. So I'll play both of those. I'll play them up to speed. And then we play it one more time. And this is where it changes. Yeah, so on the 3rd one, it changes after the first few notes. So it starts off the same. 4, 6, 7 on the A string. So we're going to hold that last note on the 7th fret. Then we're going to move to the D string, 4th fret, 6th fret, 8th fret. So the 3rd time round. Okay, so the whole thing together. I'll do it slow, then I'll do it up to speed. So first time round. Second time round. 3rd time. And up to speed. Okay, so what if you're the only guitarist in a band, or if there's someone else to play that part? Because what happens is, in our band, the keyboard player will play the bit I'm about to show you. So this is what the other line will be doing. So either the second guitarist or the keyboard player, or if you're lucky enough to have a horn section or a horn player, they can play this bit. So let's break that down. So the first time round is the same. So it's the same section, obviously. So there's 3 parts to it. The first bit is the same as what we just did. The second part harmonises. So the rhythm's the same, but the notes are slightly different. So we're going to start on this 7th fret on the A string, and then we're going to go to the D string at the 4th and 6th fret. But we play it in the same way, but just with those 3 notes this time. If you wanted to move this note here, this E note, you can move it to the 2nd fret on the D string if you want. Alright, that's the second one. The third one, it's gonna go back to the same shape as the first one, but starting on the 6th fret on the D string. I'm gonna go, and this is where the rhythm changes. So we're starting off with, on the D string, 6, 8, 9, and again hold that 9th fret to 8. Then we're going to jump down to the G string, same fret, so 8th fret, and then down to 6. So okay, and when you play them together, it sounds very nice. Let's play that up to speed now. Alright, so let's have a look at the verse. The way I'm going to show it to you, I'm going to show you two ways. One is what I can hear on the original record, and the other way is essentially the same thing, but it's the way I play it live. And you can choose whichever one you prefer, or if you have your own way of doing it, that's fine as well. So we're going to play this chord here. Let me show you what we're going to aim for. Alright, so what's happening there? So we're playing this B chord, so it's actually a D shape, so you know your open D chord, but we're going to play that all the way up at the 11th and 12th frets. That sounds like an announcement in an airport. Alright. So on the original record, I'm hearing he plays it twice. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And I think after that chord I just played there, I think there's no guitar part. But what I like to do live is I like to just play all the time on all the quarter notes. Very inspired by Dominic Miller, actually. Dominic Miller and Andy Summers, both of whom play with Sting. Alright, so this is what I'm doing. So it's the same thing, but I'm just playing more notes. Just like that. So the second chord, it goes to an E chord, which is this shape here. So I'm barring with my first finger the B string and the high E string at the 12th fret, and my middle finger is playing the G string at the 13th fret. It's another announcement. So first chord B, 8 times. And E 8 times. Back to B. And the last chord here is this F sharp chord, and we're going to use this shape. So what I'm doing here is my first finger is on the high E string at the 9th fret, third finger, the B string 11th fret, and middle finger is on the G string 11th fret as well. 3 different announcements. So F sharp. Okay, so B, E, B, F sharp. So one thing I'll do with this last F sharp chord is turn it into a 7 chord. Rather than me try to explain it, let me show you the effect that it does. This isn't on the original song, this is something I like to do. So what's happening there, I'm splitting up the 8 notes, the 8 strums for the F sharp chord, and changing the shape to this. So now I've got my first finger on the G string at the 9th fret, my third finger on the B string at the 11th fret, my little finger on the high E string at the 12th fret. I guess you could also do this, where I'm just barring my first finger on that 9th fret to play the first 3 strings and leaving my third finger there. Let's see how that sounds actually. So if you prefer that sound, you can use that. If you prefer to keep it as F sharp, that shape, then go right ahead and use that shape. If you prefer to stick to how it is on the original record, where he's not playing that high chord there, then feel free to go with that. You have options. What might also work, and I guess if there's 2 guitarists in the band, the other guitarist could be playing power chords for the same chords, the B, the E and the F sharp, but palm muted, so you get this kind of sound. So how you choose to play the verse is up to you. I like to play all 8 notes. When we get to the chorus, you'll probably hear on the original record that the guitarist is playing the chorus the way I play the verse, but with the chords for the chorus. And I do something different for the chorus, which we're going to look at in a moment. So let's have a look at this pre-chorus. I'm not sure if there's actually a guitar part on the pre-chorus, if I remember correctly. If there is, it's very low in the mix. But I'm just playing chords. In fact, I'll show you how you could play it and how I play it. They're essentially the same chords, but with different strumming patterns or picking patterns. Basically, the first chord in the pre-chorus is a B chord. I like to play it here. So the bar chord version. I also like to do this. Play it this way. So this one I assume you know already. This one here is essentially the same chord, but all I'm doing is I'm moving this root note to here. But why am I doing that? Why not just play that one? Again, you can do this. You can do this if you want to. So I'll play this chord, but then the next chord is this. And this second chord, I'm just adding my third finger on the D string at the 6th fret. So touching hands. Da, da, da. If that's a bit tricky, and this is actually, I've done this as well, I'll play, because I know the bass player's playing that low B string, that low B note I should say. Another announcement. I will sometimes play. So if you want to do that, make it a bit more interesting, that's up to you. You can just play the chords, just strum them simply. Okay, the reaching, touching me, touching you bit, I'm just going to go down to a simple F sharp bar chord and then to an E chord. Touching me, touching you, at which point it goes back to the F sharp. It's that pre-chorus. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so it starts to build up towards the end there, so keep that in mind when you're playing this. Just follow the energy of the band. Okay, little bonus bit, which I do sometimes. Another Dominic Miller influence is when I get to the F sharp and E chords, I'll play it for you. but that's where I kind of change it up a little bit, make the guitar part sound a little bit more interesting. Okay, so it's basically this F sharp chord, but I'm going to lift my bar off the first finger and just play the root note. You get this open B string. Just gives the chord a little bit more of a rub. It sounds more interesting. If you want to be pure, don't stick it in there, because some people don't like making chords too interesting. Down to an E, where that open B string is still there. I'll also sometimes do it as 3 fingers, or actually it's 2 fingers. You can use the same shape if you want. By the time I get back to the F sharp chord again for going into the chorus, I'll go back to the full bar chord. Alright, so the chorus. This is probably the most straightforward part in terms of the way we've been playing the previous sections. Just playing bar chords. I mean, there's a little bit I've added at the end that I like, which we'll get to in a moment. But let's have a look at the chords. So it's a B chord, Sweet Caroline. It's an E. So it's a B chord, Sweet Caroline, at which point it goes to an E. Ba, ba, ba. And then to an F sharp chord. Just Sweet Caroline, ba, ba, ba. Good times never seem so good. Repeat. But for that point in there, so when you do the second time round, what I like to do, let me play it for you. So second time round. So I've got this little kind of sixth line. Which just occurred to me one time when we were playing it. I could hear it in my head, and I was like, oh, let me try and find it. And in the early days, we'd play it at the next gig, and I'd forget where it was. So basically, one way to remember it is, so it starts at the 11th fret. I'm sliding into the 11th fret. Sounds very Motown. Who am I thinking of? Is it Sam and Dave? Soul Man. But it's not Soul Man. So, yeah, we're going to slide into the 11th fret on the D string and the B string. So, ba-da-ba. That's the basic rhythm. Ba-da-ba, 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 ba-da-ba. And we're going to slide back down to the 9th fret, same shape. The next 2 positions, we're going to change shape. They're both going to be the same. So we're going to go down to... So on the D string, that's the 8th fret. And on the B string is the 7th fret. And same shape, down 2 frets. So your middle finger is now on the D string on the 6th fret. Your first finger is on the B string on the B string on the 5th fret. So just put that all together. So notice the shapes. So one way to remember it is you got this kind of, I don't know what you call it, straight shape. First 2. As long as you start in the right place, it should be fine. And then it changes to the kind of more angled shape. I guess one other way you could think of it for you theory savvy people out there, starts off with a major sixth and another major sixth, 2 frets lower, and then a minor sixth and another minor sixth, 2 frets lower. Okay, so after this goes back into the verse again. So let me play that chorus for you without the singing. And into the verse. One little extra bit: if you're the only guitarist in the band and there's no keyboard player or a second guitarist or a horn section, you might want to add the bit that everyone sings, "Sweet Caroline, da da da." You might want to add that bit. So I will do that. I might do it like this. So I'm playing octaves there. And I'm going up to my little finger's going to be on the high E string, 12th fret, and then an octave lower, G string, 9th fret. So normal, might be slightly out of tune there. That's better. Yeah, so normal octave rules apply here. You want to be dampening the B string with your first finger. That way you can play 2 strings at the same time with by not having to skip over the B string. Okay. You might also, if you're feeling up to it, use your first finger to also dampen the D string, which you're not playing, but just in case you accidentally hit it. You don't want this, because it sounds bad. So you're just moving that shape around. So if I tell you where my little finger is, it starts off on the high E string at the 12th fret, and then 1 fret lower, so little finger's on the 11th fret on the high E string. Then I'm going to move up a string to the B string, and I'm going to move my little finger down to the 9th fret. So for this one, because we've moved up a string, we've also got to keep the high E string quiet. So I'm just using my first finger to keep it quiet, but I'm also using my little finger because it's quite easy to do, actually. That's basically what you get. So, Caroline, and so on. So that's the horn line if you wanted to add that to your chorus. So that's the intro, the verse, the pre-chorus and the chorus. What happens next is it goes back to a verse, another pre-chorus and another chorus. So we've got those bits down, and that's most of the song. Then after that it goes back to the intro again, and then it goes back into the chorus again, and at which point in the song it fades out. So the way your band will end it will be up to your band. In my band we just end with the that kind of thing, where we just take that 6th line that we did earlier on and just slow the song down and then bring it to an end with rock ending number 1. And then that's the end of the song. Right, so what gear am I using? So today I am mostly using my Epiphone 339. I think that's the kind of guitar they would have had at the time. I've also used my Fender Telecaster, which is great for that kind of sound as well. Effects. Let's start at the end. So I've got a bit of reverb. I've got my Hall of Fame 2 pedal, just to add a bit of plate reverb. Very subtle. You probably didn't even know there was any reverb until I told you there was. Maybe. maybe you've got a keen ear and you could hear it. Okay, next thing I'm adding is compression. Not absolutely necessary, but if you want to get that kind of slightly squished sound, it's very subtle as well. If I turn it off again and back on, very subtle, but I don't know, I kind of like knowing it's on for this song, or for at least for this part of the song. And what I've also added, which is also not absolutely necessary, is a bit of drive, just a really tiny bit of hair. That's with it on. Let's turn that off. Let's turn it back on again. So it just adds a bit more spank to the sound. So what am I using? So as I mentioned, the reverb pedal is the TC Electronic Hall of Fame 2. The compressor is the Exotic SP compressor, so it's a very nice, simple compressor to use. For my light drive, I've got the Wampler Tumnus Deluxe, and I've got the gain really low at the moment. It's almost, in fact, I'll turn the compressor off. I'll turn the Tumnus off for the moment. Turn the Tumnus back on again. So it's kind of rubbing slightly. You can kind of hear that bit of hair, a little bit of edge of breakup overdrive, which is great for when you go into the so here's without, back on again, and one other reason I'll have the kind of a bit of just slight gain on my sound, on my clean sound, is it just cuts through a bit. I've had it before where the clean sound to my ear sounded better, but when you play it with a band, you just can't hear it in the mix. It's just not there. So just having that little bit of drive just allows the sound to cut through. Doesn't sound distorted, even if you can hear the distortion when you're playing it on its own. It just allows the sound to cut through, and you don't actually, a lot of the time, will hear the distortion. It will still sound clean, but you will be able to hear it. Well, I'm glad you made it this far. I hope you enjoyed that, and I hope you learned a lot from that video. I also want to mention that TRUEFIRE, one of the world's largest repositories for guitar courses, are currently promoting their new online Guitar Academy course. So go and check that out. There's a link in the description below. They've also got a sale on their all access course, so you basically have access to the whole course, and that includes courses and lessons by people like Robin Ford, Larry Carlton, Steve Vai, Andy Timmons, Carl Verheyen. The list goes on. There's loads of great people on there, so go and check that out. Oh, they've got Ariel Posen on there as well, so go and check that out. So tell me, did you enjoy some of the changes I made to the song? They're only slight changes, but what do you think of them? Was it overkill, or were they fine? Let me know in the comments below, and let me know if there's any other songs that you think I should cover that you think might be appropriate. And hope to see you back here for another video. So if you'd like to see more content like this, more lessons on how to play the common songs that you'll see on function gigs, becoming a better function guitarist, as well as gear reviews, then please subscribe. Once again, thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.